Art from Ashes empowers thousands of struggling youth and helps them rediscover their voices. I'd like to welcome back founder of Art from Ashes, Catherine O'Neill Thorne. Nice to see you, Catherine.
Hi, Denise. Thank you for having me.
So when and why was Art from Ashes established?
Well, I started the work 25 years ago because I was promoting poetry in the state of Colorado, and I learned about the impact on young people in residential treatment. And then the organization was started 11 years ago, right after they cut funding to youth in the arts in Colorado.
Yes, I've met so many of the youth that you've worked with, and they're just such inspiring stories. Talk about the rationale behind your programs.
Well, at Art from Ashes, our fundamental program is Phoenix Rising, which allows young people to use the power of language to change their stories. So there are terrible facts, I mean, things that have happened to young people, but then we all create stories about the things that have happened to us, and that ends up becoming our identity and affecting our choices and behaviors. So through the power of metaphor and poetry, young people rediscover their value, and they change their story, and that changes their choices and behaviors, and they really see their value. And
it really is empowering. It certainly is.
Yeah.
And just to give you an example from one of your students, let's hear from Kevin.
I've been coming to Art from Ashes for since I was 18. I was in a very self-destructive state, so I can honestly say that this program saved my life, and it gives a voice to people who otherwise would not have voices, would not have people to listen to them. It's inspirational to hear the guest poets, to be around people that will respect you.
And you have drop-in workshops, which I think is super cool. What's that all about?
We just got funding from Tony Grampsas, the Youth Services Program, to create a drop-in program for the young people who can't access the arts. So these are, of course, marginalized youth. They're homeless youth, gang members, young people in the neighborhood. And we're in a neighborhood where a lot of the young people have been disenfranchised. And we just want to open it up to individual youth to come in and experience the program, because we never charge the young people, although we do contract out to other organizations. The young people never pay.
Sometimes they just need someone like you to change their life. And what impresses you most about the youth that you help?
Their resiliency. And I think that a lot of young people get a bad rap. It's like, why don't you grow up, or why don't you act your age? And the benefit to young people's vulnerability and risk-taking is that when you introduce them to the arts, they're willing, and they're willing to get vulnerable and stand up at a microphone and tell their story, and they're also willing to change their story with just a little safety and compassion.
What can we do to help your mission?
I think the important thing about the community is, and I was just talking about how there are these young children and puppies and great nonprofits with great purposes. A lot of our young people, 14 to 24, who have been in trouble most of their lives, get dismissed. And I think the community needs to hear their voice.
You have a beautiful poem. We have about 30 seconds left. Would you mind reading it?
This is written by a 12-year-old young man, English as second language, and it was written in 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
It's called The Dance My Father Taught Me. You were teaching me how to dance as a dad, like how not to take certain steps. But once I took a wrong step and stepped on your foot by saying no to you. You quickly hit me, so my mom left you. Now my mom is teaching me how to dance, and I want to tell you she is more swift on her feet. I don't have to listen all day just to learn one step. She shows me where I should step, and she taught me the steps you could never teach me, how to be a real man. She taught me every dance by herself. She taught me the waltz, the salsa, and the man dance.
And that was from a 12-year-old?
Yeah, in 3 minutes.
Gosh, heartbreaking. Thank you for sharing that.
My pleasure.
Art from Ashes creates for young people a place for expression, connection, and transformation. For more information about the program and weekly workshops, or to lend your support, please call this number right now. It's 303-837-1550. That's 303-837-1550. Find Art from Ashes online at artfromashes.org.